Okay, I said I'd do a video on epilepsy too. Okay, I haven't been too well at the moment, so I've got a few projects going up on my sleeves at the moment about hydrogen power cars and all sorts of really weird mental stuff. But I'm starting to learn more and more about hydrogen power cars, and you can do it yourself. Yeah, I mean, you won't have to go up to a pump and fill up with it, but it can be quite dangerous. I've looked into, but don't worry, I'm sure I can sort something out somehow. I'm forever the optimist. Right, let's go back onto epilepsy too. Okay, now I think I got up to the age of 16. Well, I'm going to start from the age of 16, okay? From the age of 16, this like sort of crushed me a bit because my goal was to join the British Army at the age of 16. I even went into the Army careers office and I sort of knew that they were going to say no, but I just had to try. I just had to hear them say no even though it was going to gut me, destroy me, whatever, I just had to do it and get over that hurdle. So went in, went down the list, all the names, address, blah, blah, blah. My dad had to sign me in because I was only 16. And then we went down to any medical problems. I said, yeah, I've got epilepsy. And they just looked and said, sorry, no, we can't have you in. I said, I do understand I would be a liability to you all, but I just had to try, and I am so sorry for wasting your time. So from then onwards, I just used to have to think, well, what am I going to do now? Right, I'd been trying to train, run, get myself stronger, like how you put rocks in, bloody rucksacks and all that business, and run more, run more, run more, run more, weights, gym, protein, all that bollocks. Do you know what I mean? But it was for a waste. So then I think I signed on to do a gym instructor's course. I did that, passed it, no problem. So then I did another gym instructor's course. Passed that, no problem, no worries. Then I met a woman who sort of changed my life for a little bit. Not in that sense. She was more like somebody to help me out, to focus where I was going, to focus my career. Right, she got me a job at a secondary school. I'm not going to name the secondary school, but at the age that I was, I mean, I was 17 when I went to that secondary school. Okay, now they had in their own sort of college as well. So some of the students were 18, 19, so they were older than me. That wasn't a problem, no worries at all. From day one, I took a really good stance at the school. I showed them what I could do. I was given my own lessons, which was fantastic. They liked how I dealt with the lessons. First of all, it was football training. So, basis of them all, it was I just looked at them. I said, "Listen, anybody who doesn't want to be in my lesson, you sit down there, okay? Anyone else who does, stand over here." Obviously, you get a few people who do you want to be in his lesson, blah, blah, blah. That was a worst mistake. Okay, for the rest of them that wanted to be in my lesson, I said, okay, let's do just a little quick warm up. Let's just do a little jog to the halfway line and back again. Off you go. This gave me a chance to talk to the others who decided not to be in my lesson. I separated them. I sat them down, and there was daisies growing through the field. I said to them, "You see that square shape there, okay, which I have placed over them. I know how many daisies there are in that. I want you to count them, and if you are one out, you'll be counting them through your break." So these children frantically got started. They knew I was serious. The other children had just got back off their warm-up run. I said, "Is everyone warmed up at the moment?" Some lads put their hands up and says, "Right, all of you, off you go again." They all came back, and I said, "Everybody warmed up?" A few like, "Oh God, no, please, no one put their hand up." So I said, "Okay, right, off you go again." And they all come back. Fourth time, I said, "Are you all warmed up?" You always get one. But he'd already done it in the third one, so he was broken, which was great. Nobody put the hand up, which meant I could start with the lesson, which was fantastic. I enjoyed that so much. Teaching my own lessons, coming up with my own plans. You know, it was just fantastic time of my life. I really enjoyed it. It was just amazing. You know, I was teaching physical education in a school, you know, still trying to get exams passed and things like that, because that's what it all boils down to. But there is a loophole, not for me. At the time, it was for probably the government, the schools, I don't know, because PE, physical education, wasn't recognised as anything at the time. So teachers who taught physical education had to get a second degree. This left me with many problems and many things to ponder on. Now, I could not think of come up with anything for a second degree. That means twice the work, twice everything, and I just couldn't do that. I couldn't do it because I don't know what I'm good at, you know. I'm not good at English. I'm not good at, you know, expressing myself. I'm not good at things like that. I'm good at just, you know, whipping people into shape, you know, and having fun, you know. Just, I mean, physical education should be fun. It shouldn't be all about, like, oh, that's the greatest person there. We all look up to him. No. They're the people that don't try as hard as they should. So the people coming at the back, I always rally them on, and I give them more encouragement to progress. And sure enough, through the months they did progress, you know, and then it made the others think. Yeah, I did play a lot of psychology, a lot of tricks, but that's how you have to do it to get to people to train. I mean, I did all sorts of sports. Okay, let's say, okay, I did netball, gymnastics. Okay, so, you know, I could do any sport. Then there was like football, cricket, rugby. God, I can't even think now. It was that long ago. Oh, softball. Athletics. Oh, I'm trying to think now, all the various sports. I should have really wrote them down. But, you know, it was a long time ago now. We're talking well over 30 years ago. Probably about 30 years ago. Yeah, it was about 30 years ago. Jeez, 30 years ago. Wow. Gosh. At least I was trying to keep my epilepsy under control. I mean, I used to cycle to, obviously, where I worked. It was 4.5 miles away. Okay, and my fastest time was 12 minutes to cycle 12.5 miles. 12.5 miles, 4.5 miles. I pulled up at one stage in the car park, threw up, looked at this couple and said, "This is a very hard ride." Got on my bike and still beat my record. Then got to the school where I was teaching, jumped in the shower, changed my clothes, got myself ready. You know, it was brilliant. I just loved it. Got on with all the staff in there. You know, I thought I was going to be like given like the remedial jobs, like, you know, like washing kits and things like that. But Monday, I did like Mondays because, yes, I did have to wash kits. I accepted that. I didn't mind that. I used to have to wash the rugby kits and things like that. But, if you've been out for the weekend, Monday, great. I didn't have to teach until midday. And then there was only one double period left. And then that was it, unless I was taking an after-school club. Fantastic. I didn't mind staying behind to whatever time. I could stay there till 8, 9 o'clock, light permitting, obviously. I just love sport. Sport was my life, Played sport for the county and things like that, but I just was never quite good enough at one particular sport to excel me in to the next level. So I just thought I'd use my knowledge and try to help people. I mean, I was deeply into sports science, which was quite unheard of back then, nutrients, fitness, foods taking, you know, um, various things. Like I say, I've forgotten a lot of it and I wish I hadn't, but like when those 2 years were up, I was devastated because I got no help after that. That was it. I was on my own. So then I had to find a job. I sent my CV off to various places, got interviewed. That was no problem. Someone asked me about my health. I said, yeah, it's okay. I had to lie. Okay, because I know what would happen if I didn't lie. I would not get a look in. I worked at various gyms. There was a gym at Keele University which I used to work in. I did that. Worked in sports shops, passing on my knowledge of trainers and which trainers you should use, depending on which sort of sport you were doing. I mean, some people just needed a cross trainer, which was brilliant, which is for different sports. You don't have to pay, you don't have to buy 3 different trainers. You can use a cross trainer. I mean, it's not as good as just if you brought individual trainers, but when your students are on a budget, they cannot afford to earn top trainers like I could. I mean, oh gosh. Right, from then onwards, I figured out I'm gonna get sidetracked now because people will be coming out of university with 2 degrees and they're gonna get hired to teach. So then this is a weird twist in my life. I decided to go and work for a car insurance company, which was like, people would phone up. We never phone people up, never ever phone people up. We didn't have to do that, People were phoning us up to get a quotation on their car insurance. You could help them out. Once you knew a lot about car insurance, you could really help people out. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to make their policies cheaper, and that was a good time of my life again. I had just got a promotion in the company, and the head boss was coming down, and guess who decided to have an epileptic fit? Me! Which was fantastic. Just as the head boss walks in, he sees me being wheeled out by a wheelchair. Fantastic. So, I was supposed to be sacked, but luckily my manager fought for me and I had to take a demotion back one step. That's not a problem though, I could probably earn more money doing that because when you're running a team, you're running on your team's results. So I could earn more money doing it that way, And then AO had another seizure, got the sack completely. But I had lied, you know, I couldn't help it. I wanted a job. I wanted to live a normal bloody life, you know, and people don't understand that, you know. They, they, they just think, no, 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 they don't want to live a normal life. These people with epilepsy, no, 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 they just want to get off the state and not work, you know. The amount of jobs I had, and I put money into the government's hands, which I never saw or anything like that or could claim back, you know, which made me quite sad because I had been used basically. But anyway, from then onwards, I found out that I could have been claiming benefits, more benefits than they had originally quoted me. I had no idea of this because I'd never claimed benefits. I didn't know how to do the system. I had no idea, you know. I mean, oh, they just didn't know. So I thought, nah, I'm going to move to London for a bit. I went down to London, I think, for about 6 months. And this was one of my ex-girlfriends that I lived with for some time. We just didn't get on, and one day I just got up and I said, listen, I'm going back to Stoke. Got in the car, driving illegally, I know. Got there, asked my mum and dad, I said, Mum, Dad, I need to stay for a couple of weeks. He said, yeah, no problem. You know, which is cool of them. Do you know what I mean? They just see me pull up in a car driving, you know, but that was good of them, and I respect them for that. They have always backed me 100%. Then I left it today, went to visit some friends. Guess who'd followed me up to London? My ex. I could not believe this. I was wondering what was going on in the house down in London. So I arranged with me and my dad to go down to London. I needed to pick up some things. I needed a van and stuff. You know, I managed to pick up stuff. The house was in a right mess. I couldn't believe that it collapsed that much just through like 2 days. There was rubbish everywhere, you know, washing up everywhere. It was horrible. I was so embarrassed to actually let my dad into that house. It was unbelievable. You know, I don't know whether she was trying to blame it on me, but I knew because of the dates and the times and things like that, and I'd taken photographs. So we get back. A lot of trouble started then, you know. She was demanding money off me for the kids. She was demanding this, that, the other, you know. But then all of a sudden, she decided to give me the children for I had them in a total of 18 months in the end. You know, I mean, they came to live with me. Luckily, I'd got a 2-bedroom flat at the time, which was fantastic. So they got their own room. I'd got my room, you know. We used to watch a film every night. Sometimes I used to sleep in my bed, you know. Or later on in the night, I used to feel someone creep in, you know. And that, yes. But it was all nice. It was all good. It was brilliant. But then, when I started getting them school uniforms, started getting them schools to go to, I started enrolling them into classes, you know, and this didn't look good on my ex. She, she, she didn't have answers when her friends were asking her, you see, so it made her look really bad. Then she managed to get in touch with somebody I do not know, and they had loads of forms for me, and she wanted me to sign the children over to her. I couldn't do that, but then I thought, do I really want to go through a battle, you know, with these children, sending them from one place to another place to another place to another place? I wrote in that I would have them for weekends. Do you know what I mean? She agreed to that at first. Then she amended it. This is what annoyed me. I know she's not here to defend herself, but I'm not going to give her a name. I'm not going to tell you who it was because that is not fair. I am just doing it from my point, and I don't name people. So she wanted money. She wanted me to sign the kids over to it. Not going to happen. So, like I said, I had them at weekends. But then it took a major twist. She came up with this new proposal. It said my mum and dad could see the children just for Sunday lunch, but I was not allowed to be present. Now, my mum and dad would have let me be present. Now, they would be violating what she had said, but they didn't mind that. They just wanted to see how far she was going to push it. In the end, I just decided, I said, listen, mum and dad, it's too hard for you. I don't want you to get involved. I don't want you to feel stress, the mental anguish which I feel. And this is all caused by my epilepsy. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying woe me again. It shaped me into the person that I am now, which is good. So I handed them over. Little did she know I never signed that form, but I pretended to. So I knew if I wanted to, I could battle it, but I didn't want to. The children were settled, which was the main thing. So next, okay, I had injured my back working for a company in London. I'd moved my sciatic nerve, and I had got 3 bulging discs in the back of it as well, which was pushing against it. So I needed surgery one. I had that. Once again, felt fantastic. Don't know whether it was drugs or what, but once it worn off after 3 months, I was in agony. I was on a settee for 18 months. I couldn't get off it. So they decided to operation 2, which they said after this operation you can no longer have any more operations on your back. When you've been in that much pain, you will go for that operation. You really will. I mean, any chance at a normal pain-free life, you take it. And I did. And I was like just thinking, please, please, please. The first thing when I came out of the operation, a nurse says, well, at least your legs are working. I thought, that sounds good, but how much are they working, I thought. And I slipped off into a deep sleep, tried to fight it because I don't like being lucid like that. And once again, this took, I think, about 4 or 5 months to come back. It was painful again. Basically, it was to screw 4 metal plates into my spine to try and pull the I forgot what it's blooming called now. The individual bits to make up the spine. So it would screw it into it and pull it down to make it into one. I showed you the picture where the screws went in. It's shocking. It shocked me anyway, but I had to get a picture of it. It was really good. I'm just showing you what epilepsy led to cause and effect. So, and then if I ever had an epileptic seizure, I would tense up, scream, and then I would be in pain again on the settee for 2 weeks. That's not no life. Mission 1, get some painkillers. Mission 2, try to get some sleeping tablets. Mission 3 was classified. Can't tell you that one. I love to build it up classified. So finally I started getting it under control a bit. But nowhere near as I'd like it. I had to cancel my gym membership. The day I cancelled my gym membership, it felt like I'd lost everything. But it had to be done because I couldn't even lift the weights up and just do a simple bench press. A simple bench press. That was just the bar, no weights on it. So it was only 15 key because the bar weighs 15 key. So then I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And my brain went TikTok again, and then blew up. I think my brain did. Okay, I'm just gonna pause you for a sec. Well, pause. I don't know.